Hey class, good morning. It is Sunday morning as I'm recording this video, so welcome back to week number 4 of Introductory Psychology. And that's pretty crazy because, we're a quarter of the way through the course already. You'll hear me say this often, but it kind of feels like we just started. But here we are 4 weeks later, and you're still right in the thick of it, learning a lot about psychology. And I haven't scared you off yet, so that's good. But welcome back. Just wanted to say quickly about week number 3. I really enjoyed this last week's discussion about texting and driving. A lot of you shared some very interesting articles, some very interesting content, a lot of interesting discussions about this topic. I think it's something we're all aware of. We're aware that it's a problem, and I think many of us are engaged in this practice and try our best to not do it, but we're aware of it's a problem. But I think that's where it kind of starts, is through education, is being aware of the dangers, being aware of the risks, and being, of what's involved. I think that's how we can make change really happen. We can enact laws and make things illegal, and I think that does have some impact, but I think ultimately real impact has to come from individuals making conscious decisions and saying, okay, yeah, I'm not going to do that anymore. It's really not worth it to me anymore. I think technology will make that more easy for some people. For example, newer cars are making it easier. You don't have to use your phone in the car quite as much, or nobody really ever has to use their phone in their car, I should say. But I mean, there's more options if you do feel that's the need. Like, oh, I have to take this text or this call or whatever. There are options at least. So maybe as technology progresses, this will become less and less of a problem. Especially if you think about when cars become self-driving, then it's like, okay, well, yeah, I can use my phone while my car drives itself. I guess maybe there could be some dangers with that. Maybe you'd still need to watch the road and make sure your self-driving car doesn't do anything crazy. But anyways, technology could be the answer. I don't know. It's just interesting to speculate about. So, also want to mention response paper number 3 is due tonight. It is Sunday night as I'm recording, or Sunday morning as I'm recording this. Response papers are due on Sunday night. Number 3, I've graded all the ones I've received so far. They've been great. But if you're not aware, make sure you watch the TED Talk about the nature of reality. It is a TED Talk that even stumps me. Every time I watch it, my mind gets blown in some other way or another. I walk away kind of questioning the nature of my own reality, feeling like I was in the movie The Matrix for the past 32 years of my life. So anyways, watch that if you haven't yet. Turn in your response paper, summarize the video, tell me something you found interesting, and then tell me one personal connection. So keep that up. This week, there will be no discussion and no response paper. And I know you're probably thinking, wow, that's awesome. And it is. But it's because we have an exam this week. Exam number 1 is active and opened. It's open as of this morning, and it'll be open until next Monday. Not tomorrow Monday, but the Monday after, and I think that is the 17th. It'll be open until 11:59 p.m. Exam number 1 covers chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. You've already read chapters 1, 2, and 3. You will obviously need to read chapter 4, which covers the topic of consciousness. And this is where we start getting into, conscious states, or you can kind of substitute the word awareness for consciousness. And so right now, I am aware, I am conscious, I'm aware of the fact that I am talking into my webcam. And you right now, you're aware that you're listening to me, and that would be, you would have full conscious awareness. But there are other states of consciousness. For example, when we're asleep, we are completely cut off from the world around us when we're asleep. Our state of consciousness is very different. Drug-induced states, when I say drug-induced, I don't necessarily mean legal or illegal, but really any kind of substance that alters our state of consciousness would be considered part of this sort of spectrum of, altering our sense of awareness. And when I say awareness, I really mean awareness of self and awareness of, kind of broadly speaking, others around us. So that's really the heart of this chapter. It's kind of one of the shorter chapters we look at, but you're going to look at some really cool topics: sleep, dreams. Freud's going to come up a lot in this chapter, so hope you liked reading about Freud in the first chapter or 2 maybe. But he's going to come up a lot in this chapter. You're going to read about drugs, illegal and legal. There's 3 different classifications. We're talking about depressants, stimulants, and hallucinogenic drugs. These are all drugs that alter your sense of awareness, your sense of consciousness. And the most commonly consumed drug in the world is perfectly legal, and one that many of us probably have started our day off with, and that's caffeine, with coffee, for example, tea, energy drinks, soda, things like that. So, when we talk about drugs that alter consciousness, it doesn't always have to be illegal or even really incredibly dangerous or harmful, like cocaine, methamphetamines, or heroin, which you'll read about as well. But even drugs, something as minor as caffeine, is something that will alter your state of consciousness. So read chapter 4. Another thing I wanted to mention is there are practice quizzes for all four chapters, chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're all open. They're for you to use. They are a resource. They do not count against your grade. You can take them multiple times. I highly recommend using them as a way to study. So as you're preparing for the exam, maybe go back over your notes for chapter 1, read over the PowerPoint for chapter 1, then take the chapter 1 quiz. Just kind of check yourself. And then you can use that information to diagnose and figure out, okay, here's what I understand, here's what I don't. Maybe I need to go back and study these things. So these are just resources to help you prepare for the exam and do better on the exam. And again, you can take them multiple times. The exam, though, and so you have 40 practice questions to work with. The exam is 50 total questions. You almost have like a practice exam to take when you think about it like that. 40 practice questions, 50 real questions. And within those 40 practice questions, you can kind of figure out where you're at as far as the material goes. Also, for every chapter, I've also posted what are called iClicker questions. If we had an in-class, if we were taking this class in person, I would use these clicker questions maybe to review in class, but we don't have that opportunity. So you can go through and quiz and review yourself that way as well. Use all of those resources as best as you can, and please use me as a resource. If you have questions as you're studying, reach out to me. Please reach out to me via Canvas. For some reason, my OSU OKC email is like not working with my Mac. I don't know why, but I can get on Canvas just fine, but the actual email account connected to my Mac is not working. So send your emails through Canvas and I will get them, and I can answer your questions as soon as possible. Make sure, give me 24 hours. Don't send me a question like, the exam closes at 11:59 p.m. Don't send me a question at 10 p.m. and expecting an answer, because chances are I'm probably going to be asleep or going to bed at that time. And then again, I may just not even see your email, so it's too late. And the exam will close at 11:59 p.m. So please, please, please do not wait until like 11 o'clock on Monday night to take the exam. You probably will not be giving yourself enough time. You need to give yourself 2 hours. There is no time limit, but I recommend just setting aside 2 hours to take it. Probably won't even take you that long, but I don't want you to rush. I don't want you to stress. That's how you're going to do well. You're going to practice, you're going to review, you're going to ask questions, and you're not going to stress. That's how you're going to crush this exam. I have no doubt that every single one of you can crush this exam. It's a tough exam, don't get me wrong. But I know as long as you do your job in terms of what's expected as being a student, you're gonna do awesome. So with that, finish response paper 3 if you haven't already. Read chapter 4 on consciousness. Review and prep for the exam. You have plenty of resources and materials. Practice quizzes, iClicker questions, PowerPoints, notes, me as a resource. Please use it all. That's what I'm here for. That's my job. And then take the exam. You have until the 17th at 11:59 p.m., but please do not wait until the last moment. Please, please, please don't wait. Inevitably, it happens almost every semester, but I'm just telling you that now. And I'll probably even send out a message like, hey, just a reminder, exam, it's due tomorrow. Please don't wait. So, but best of luck with that. I know you're all going to do well. I can't wait to read response paper number 3 tomorrow, and I'll talk to you all next week. All right, take care. Bye.